What's up, guys? So I know it's been a while since I've been able to get on here, but we haven't actually been brewing that much over the summer. So today we are going to be doing a Smash IPA. So my homebrew club and a couple other local clubs decided to put a competition together between the clubs, and what we're going to do this year is a big Smash competition. So for those of you who don't know what a Smash is, it's a single malt and single hop beer. So basically you use one malt, no specialty malt, nothing, just a base malt, and then you use one style hop and one yeast. So I'll show you my recipe today. Just flip this around. So here is the Smash I'm using today. So as you can see, I'm using 10 pounds of marris otter, 2.5 ounces of Medusa in my first wort, a 20-minute addition of 1 ounce, a 5-minute addition of another ounce, and then I'm going to do a 3.5 ounce dry hop. So as you can see, I'll show you what the Medusa looks like. So this is the Medusa hops. BSG makes them. This is not a very common hop. My local homebrew shop, Brew Your Own Beer, in Havertown, Pennsylvania, they got these in. As you can see, here's the profile on them. The thing I liked about them is it's a very fruity hop. It says intense guava, melon, apricot, and citrus fruit, with a highly desirable aroma and flavor characteristics. So we'll see how this comes out. But basically, what I'm going to do here, just your basic IPA recipe. It's a little low. You can see here it's a little low for an IPA. It's more of a pale ale. You can see I have that listed there, so whatever. I mean, I just want to see how these hops taste with the marris otter, so we'll see how that goes. Let me show you guys my water profile here. One thing you want to remember anytime you're doing a smash beer, or any beer really with light malt, you're not really using a specialty malt, is you're not going to get a lot of acidity, so the pH is not going to drop very well. So if you look here, you can see my existing water profile right there. So you can see my calcium is pretty low for a pale ale. Magnesium, sodium, all that. So if you see like a desired profile for a pale, you want 140 parts per million calcium and 300 sulfate. So what I did here is, you can see this is what I'm going to come out to when I'm done. Pretty close, and that's the estimated pH that I'm coming out to. So if you look, what I'm actually doing here is I'm going to be adding 7.6 grams of gypsum into my mash, and then another 15.2 grams into my sparge. And I don't sparge with 8 gallons, but because I do run a Herms, there's 8 gallons in there, so I only sparge with I think it's about 5 gallons, but I just I fill the lauter tun with 8, so you treat 8. So as you can see, here's what the gypsum looks like. It's just your basic right there. It's a powder. That's what 7.6 grams looks like. And then what I'm going to do as well, as you can see here, right there, you're going to add 1.2 milliliters of lactic acid. So you can see here, it's a little faded, but this is just lactic acid, just a liquid. So I'll add that into there too, but one thing I like to do when adding any type of lactic acid is I first check the pH, because lactic acid is pretty powerful. When you, every 0.1 milliliter per gallon drops the pH down a whole half of a pH unit. So you don't want to go crazy. So what I do is I add it in slowly and just keep checking it. So I definitely recommend that. So if you've never brewed a smash beer before, the premise behind a smash beer is basically you want to test out your ingredients. So a lot of times smash beers, you use them to test out hops, how well they go with different malts. Maybe you want to try a new malt. One of my friends in my club is actually doing a Kolsch with Red X malt, and that's all he's using. So that's going to be a test for him. We'll see how that comes out. But smash beers are great when you're really trying to just try different ingredients, whether it be hops, malts. Maybe you even want to experiment with water additions. So if you want to see what it's like brewing with just your water out of your spigot, maybe distilled water, or even doing your first water treatments, smash beers are a great way to do that. So we're going to see how that comes out today. I'll show you guys what the first wort hop looks like. Everything else is pretty standard, and then we'll go from there. If you have any questions, feel free to post below. Otherwise, enjoy the brew day. Alright, so right now I'm measuring the pH about 10 minutes into the mash. As you can see, I got my sample right there, just cooled it down. Coming in at 536. So, big point that I like to make, that I made earlier in the video, is always do your adjustments in pieces. So by looking at my brewing water, it told me to use the lactic acid. I think it was 3 milliliters, which would have dropped it another 1.5, which would have took it right to about 521. But it was originally telling me that without the lactic acid, I'd be at about 541. So that's just a lesson learned. As you can see, that's 536. There's no lactic acid in the mash yet. So I'm going to put a little bit in. I'm not going to put the whole 3 milliliters in. I'm probably going to drop about a milliliter in. And then we'll test it again. It should come out in the 5.2s. But that's just a lesson that you guys should definitely learn, is don't throw all your salt additions in immediately unless you are 100% sure of your water. The water report I use for my local water is about 1.5 years old. It does change. I am due to send out another one to Ward Laboratories. If you guys haven't done that, I suggest it. It is a little expensive. It's about 40 bucks, but it's worth it. So just again, unless you are 100% sure of your water, don't put all your salt additions immediately, especially the lactic acid. If you have to put any acids in, I would wait and just test through. So I'm going to go add that now. I'll retest, and then we'll see how it goes. So as you can see, I added 1 milliliter, dropped me down to 5.3. So I'm going to leave it there, go a little high. 5.2 to 5.6 is the ideal range. So I'm going to go 5.3 on this one, let it sit there. So as you can see, you don't always need to add the complete. See, it's still dropping a little bit, but that'll work for me. Alright, so we just started lautering. If you look, I just added my first wort hop addition. So basically all you do for a first wort hop is, as you are sparging and collecting your wort, you're just going to add hops to it. And what this basically does is it gets the hops, the oils out of the hops at a much lower temperature, so it doesn't convert a lot of the oil into the harsh bitterness that you would normally get if you threw it in right at boiling. So the theory behind first wort hop is that you get a much more subtle bitterness rather than the harsh bitterness you would get from like a 60 or 90 minute addition. Basically what they say is that the bitterness should be a little more mellow and you get a little more flavor out of it. So I've done it once before, didn't really notice too much of a difference, but this one I did because I'm really trying to just increase the bitterness because we're using 3% alpha hops. So we'll see how it comes out. If it tastes pretty mellow, then I guess it worked. So if you haven't tried it before, give it a try. If not, maybe try it, see how it comes out. Smash beers are the perfect beers for it. So alright, let's get this collected and get on to the boil. Okay, so we just added in our whirlpool hops, our 1 ounce of Medusa. We're going to let this go for about a half hour to let it cool. Once we get down to the at least 80 degrees, I'll throw it in the fermentation chamber, let it get down to pitching temp, and then we'll let it go. Alright guys, so we are about 11 days into fermentation. We're getting ready to add our Medusa hops in. We have 3.5 ounces getting ready to go in. I'll show you a little sample I just took. Let's see if we get a clarity on here. So this is actually pretty clear. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but it's actually pretty clear already. You can see from there, you can see my finger right through it. So pretty clear. It smells pretty good too. So I'm going to do our dry hop addition. 3.5 ounces are going in. You can see what the wort looks like. Let's see if we can do this in one hand. And while I do for my dry hop, I just throw it right in. Hops are naturally antimicrobial, so you don't have to worry about infection. So you don't really need to sanitize. So that's really all you got to do. So let me finish adding these. Right, so as you can see, I know there's a little bit of glare, but dry hops are in the fermenter. I'm just going to leave that in there for about 4 or 5 days. So today is Tuesday. I'll probably end up kegging this on Saturday. So it's going to sit. I'll probably end up cold crashing. Most likely on Thursday night, maybe Friday morning. I'll set this down to just above freezing, let it go down. Clarity's already pretty good. We're going to get a little bit of haziness now if there's hops in there. Let them drop out. Competition this beer is going into needs to be bottled and submitted by Wednesday. So I use a carbonation stone. I'll show you that when I set it up. I use that, so it only takes about 2 days. So we'll see how it goes. We'll go from there. So we'll check in on kegging day. Alright guys, so I just realized when I was putting the video together that I forgot to do the kegging day. So just wanted to let you guys know I forgot to add that in here. I didn't videotape it. Next time I keg and use the carbonation stone, I'll have to show it to you, but just want to let you guys know I completely forgot that. So I'll bring you back to the end of the video so you can see me finish it, but if any of you are in dire need to see how to use the carbonation stone, let me know. I can post that sooner. But other than that, be on the lookout for that. I will post it. Okay, so I just got done bottling beer for competition this weekend. So let's see how it tastes and we'll see how it came out. So one thing with a smash beer, you'll definitely get some malts forward. So the Marris Otter, it's a little biscuity, a little grainy. So I mean, you can see the clarity of this beer. It's really not that good on the camera, but a little chill haze, but it's actually pretty damn clear. Good head retention. The smell of these Medusa hops is just unbelievable. It's very fruity. So you get like notes of strawberries, peaches, some dankness to it, some pine. It's a pretty good hop. It's not a normal hop. I believe it's a mix hop, experimental hop. So if you see this at your home brew store, get it. I definitely recommend it. But all in all, it came out pretty good. So again, with the smash, this is normally an experimental beer, so it's worth trying it out if you're ever trying to experiment with a grain or hop. So give it a try. As far as the yeast goes, again, I used that San Diego super yeast. Pretty damn clean. Left a little bit of residual body, but all in all, pretty good. So that's it. So if you have any questions, let me know. Be on the lookout. I get a pretty big present coming in this weekend, so you'll probably get a video up this weekend. See what that is. I'm very excited for that. So be on the lookout for that this weekend. Other than that, I'll be brewing again Sunday. I'm getting ready to take the beer out of the barrel that I've been aging for 6 months. So be on the lookout for that too. So there should be some videos coming. So again, like, subscribe. Talk to you guys later.